In this video, you are going to learn how to set up your assessment tracker. First thing I want you to do is adjust the zoom, and typically 75% is best. Now I can see the entirety of what is available on this first tab. Next thing, I want to have my goal setting card in front of me. And I want to set up my star score from last year. So from last year, I got a 58, and that equated to meets performance level. Next thing I want to do is set up this tracker for this school year. So in this drop-down menu in the top right, I'm going to select my content and grade level. Then I'm going to set up the performance I need to shoot for by the end of the school year, which for me is meets. And then it also tells me the percentage I need to shoot for, which is 62%. The next thing I want to set up is my map score. So I'm going to use this drop-down menu. Again, I'm going to set for the grade level and content area. So for me, it's math grade 8. And next to BOY, I'm going to type in the RIT score that I got. So I got a 225, and I'm going to press enter. So that equates to about a 57% or a high approaches. I'm going to start putting that into this table. So under assessments, I'm going to type in map BOY. And the percent score that was equivalent to my RIT score was about 57%. Don't ever type the percent sign. And then next, I want to do a quick reflection. And I just want to compare how my map score is compared to how I ended my school year last year. So I'm down about a point. So I'm going to say I'm almost there. Okay, the next thing I want to do is set a goal for my first unit assessment. So I'm currently sitting at about a 57, and I eventually need to consistently hit at least a 62% or higher. So I'm going to shoot for a goal of a 65. And I'm going to go ahead and set up my tracker for my first unit. Okay, I'm also going to move this bar down here at the bottom to that goal that I've set. So you have to click on it and then click and drag. Okay, so now we're going to fast forward and pretend that we've taken our Unit 1 assessment. So we are going to log back into Aware. You have two options. You can either go through the Launchpad, or you can use this tiny URL, tinyurl.com/neisd test, and it will take you directly to where you need to be. Okay, you're going to log in with your ID number and your birth date. Press sign in. When you log in, you're going to select the My Test Scores tab. And then a new feature that you may want to start using eventually is filtering by subjects. Okay, so I just took this student goal setting test, and I want you to notice over here to the very right, it gives you a percent score of a 63%. So I'm going to go back to my tracker, and next to Unit 1, I'm going to type in that I got a 63. I want you to notice it's conditionally formatting it turned red because you didn't hit this goal that you set for yourself, but we're close. So again, I'm going to do a quick reflection and say, I'm almost there. And then I'm going to have you press this Rename Sheets button. The first time you do it, it's going to ask for authorization. You're going to select your account. You're going to tell it to allow. And because we had to give it permission, we're going to rename Sheets one more time and then watch your tabs at the bottom change. Okay, so these are going to rename based upon what you put in this assessments column. So we're going to go to Unit 1, and now we have the opportunity to do some reflection. So I can go back into my Aware, I can select that test, and start reflecting on how I performed. So first things first, there were 8 questions. So under this question column, I'm going to list the numbers 1 through 8. And then I'm going to set up whether I got it correct, incorrect, or partial. So 1, 2, 3, 7, and 8, I got correct. So under my results, that's where I'm going to set that piece up. And then on 4, 5, and 6, I'm going to set that up. Those are the ones I got incorrect. Okay, next piece we're going to look for is this confidence rating. So first thing I need to do is click on number 1. And as a student, while I was testing, I was selecting how I felt for each question. And so it's going to tell you what you selected. So on this first one, I said, I got it. And on this drop-down menu, it's got emojis that match. So I'm going to do that on each one. So on number 2, same thing. And then I'm going to complete it for the rest of them. Okay, once I have that done, I'm then going to go and reflect on first my essentials. So if your teacher gives you essentials to reflect on. So let's say I'm going to reflect on 1, 4, and 7. Those were the really, really important questions that I needed to look at. So on number 1, I got it correct. So I really got this. And it's not one that I guessed on. And I don't have to say that I have a new answer because I got that one correct. On number 4, I got that one incorrect. So I'm going to go review this question. If I have questions, I'm also going to ask my teacher for help if I'm not sure what the new answer is. But I'm going to go and tell myself on this one, I didn't understand what the question was asking. My new answer is blank because blank. And possibly I had to ask my teacher for help or a partner. After I've reflected on my questions, the next thing I'm going to do is come down here to the bottom and start with, how did I perform on those essential questions? Well, on 2 of them, on 1 and 7, I got those correct, but number 4, I didn't. So I'm going to say, I need a little bit more practice. I'm almost there, but I need a little more practice. Then I'm going to talk about my resources. So if you have the use of maybe a dictionary or a reference chart, a periodic table, you can talk about any of those resources you found helpful and that you used. and then resources I didn't use and maybe some that I no longer need. Then you'll talk about your plan. So what are some things I need to keep and change about my behavior in class? And then same thing about my participation in class. Then I want to talk about the environment. So maybe everything was fine. Or maybe I was having a bad day and I need to tell my teacher that. Or maybe the room was too bright or dark. And then you have room to explain. Lastly, talk about something you need to work on. Maybe you need to work on using my scratch paper, because that's really important. Can I do this by myself? Yes. If you select no, you have a drop-down menu. And then, have I reached my goal? If so, how do I know? Should I adjust my goal? I haven't reached my goal yet, but I will continue with the same goal. Okay, so we're going to go back to the My Data tab. So I'm going to keep my goal the same. I'm going to shoot for 65 again. And then I'm just going to go ahead and set up for my unit 2 for when it's ready to be taken.